What is up, you guys? And welcome to the Chosen League podcast, where fire sports content is the name of the game. I'm your host, Devon, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins talks about why he believes that Anthony Edwards is the next face of the NBA. We're going to go more in depth about, you know, Anthony Edwards. But before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. Let's get into it. Anthony Edwards. Yes, Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man. Kendrick Perkins said on you know throughout one of the ESPN that he believes that Anthony Edwards is up next. He will be the face of the NBA, and he basically was saying that Anthony Edwards is a must-watch type of player. And just to go more in depth about Anthony Edwards, looking at where his stats were this year, he's averaging 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. And the thing about Anthony Edwards, the way he plays his play style, he's really a mid-range shooter. 9 times out of 10, he's a slasher. He's going to get to the basket. Look at what he did to John Collins. John Collins from Utah dunked on him. Both of them had to go to the locker room. I just feel like John Collins couldn't take that pressure, but at the same time, Anthony Edwards dislocated his finger after the dunk. So like he said at the end of that game against Utah, he really didn't get to enjoy that dunk after dislocating his finger. And I was about to say John Morant, but um, Anthony Edwards is very explosive. And there's gonna be some players I'm gonna mention here that that are explosive as well. And these are must-watch players, just like how I'm describing Anthony Edwards. He's a slasher, very explosive, mid-range. He can play off the ball. See, when you got a player that doesn't need the ball in their hands and still makes plays, oh, you got a problem. Anthony Edwards is an all-around player. He can also absorb the physical contact when going to the rim. So it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're bigger than him, whether you're his height or whatever size, he's going to dethrone you when you meet him at the rim. He's going to do what is necessary to get them points on the board. And he's a good ball handler. He's ranked third amongst shooting guards in scoring, and he's ranked ninth amongst shooting guards in assists. So the thing about Anthony Edwards is, like I said, his confidence. That's the thing. And he's also been compared to Michael Jordan. Like, I've been watching some of these games Anthony Edwards been playing. I've been watching Anthony Edwards games, and some of these moves he does is just like Michael Jordan. He has the men. I feel like he has the mentality of Michael Jordan because he wants to win. And I know there's been other players who have been mentioned here about being the face of the league. Victor Wembanyama, he came in with the hype. They compared him to LeBron. Generational talent. He may be the next face of the NBA. You got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who's playing with OKC, who has a chance to be the face of the NBA. Jason Tatum is talking about he wants to be the face of the NBA. And honestly, if you ask me, it's Anthony Edwards. He's an all-around player. He wants to win, and he plays his butt off, just trying to get there and make plays. And even though he has Karl Anthony Towns, playing with all these great players like not Reed, you have Reed on that roster. They have a lot of talent, and they're third. Minnesota's third in the Western Conference, 47-22. They're third in the West. They was number one until it started to flip. It was between them and OKC. But these are young teams. These two young teams are going out there battling it out. This is going to be a good playoffs. The playoffs is going to be great. Uh, but like I said, Timberwolves are third in the West. They're 23-9 at home, 24-13 away. And the last thing I want to cover before I end the show. Look, remember when I said Anthony Edwards is a must-watch player? And the same thing Kendrick Perkins said. Kendrick Perkins said it on ESPN himself. He will be the face of the league. He's a must-watch player. And even Austin Rivers was there. He said when you look at players like Michael Jordan, who I'm mentioning now, these are past players. Michael Jordan. We all know Michael Jordan for when he took flight. He Air Jordan. When he took flight from that free throw line and dunked it, or when he came up drove to the basket, dunked it, or you get that mid-range shot. That mid-range shot he hit in Boston when he played against the Boston Celtics and scored 63 points, broken the record. You know, Jordan was somebody to watch because it's like when you see him on the court and he does these crazy moves, it amazes people. And it's like, how did he even do that? Look how high he went up. Look at how far, how high his body was above the rim. Vince Carter, Vince Sanity. We knew him to be he was with the great dunks. You know, every time he was going to the rim, you was ready to see it. Oh, he finna dunk. Kobe Bryant, who dropped 81 on Toronto. Even he played. He had Jordan. He was a fan of Jordan. He had Jordan's play style. That Jordan was the blueprint for him until Kobe started to come into his own. LeBron James, as we know, kid from Akron, came into the league with a lot of hype. You know, beat beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to be the all-time scoring leader, and then now he's got 40K points. It's gonna take honestly to catch LeBron's 40K points. I feel like it's gonna take about a good probably 45 years, or it's gonna be somebody who is a natural scorer, who is a scoring machine that can beat that record. But honestly, I say 45 years. And last but not least, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, we already know before before the his injury, he was balling out too. He became the youngest MVP. He was explosive at the rim. He was dunking on everybody. He was the hesitation crossovers. And that's the thing about if you look at all these players I just mentioned that are explosive that gets to the basket, the thing about Anthony Edwards is the footwork. The guys that I mentioned here, LeBron, Derrick Rose, Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, their footwork. Look at their footwork. Look at their balance when they go for a mid-range shot or when they take any type of shot. The body control, the balance, the footwork, and the way they go to the basket and absorb the physical contact, and they still manage to get to the basket and make a play. And all these guys want to win. Every player that I mentioned, past NBA player I mentioned, wants to win. Well, LeBron is current, but all these players want to win. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Is Anthony Edwards the new face of the NBA? Will he be up next? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, that is all for today's episode. Make sure you once again like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload an episode. I'm Devin, and I'm signing off.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show.